The rarest coaster I've ever ridden is an alpine coaster known as Cowboy Coaster. This is all the way up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and is also the only coaster in Wyoming. Now, the story of how I got to ride Cowboy Coaster is very interesting, so stay tuned and watch this whole video to find out my story on how I got to ride Cowboy Coaster, along with two other honorable mentions for the rarest coaster I've ever ridden. Let's get started. My story with Cowboy Coaster starts with the flying restrictions enforced during the COVID-19 pandemic. As me and my family were originally planning on heading to the Mid-Atlantic states during the summer of 2020, but due to flying restrictions, we decided to instead head up to the Rocky Mountain states instead, which had way fewer flying restrictions. And during that trip, I ended up heading up to Wyoming, which I was mainly there to hit up Yellowstone, but during the trip, I was also in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and funny enough, my hotel in Jackson Hole, Wyoming was literally right next door to Snow King Mountain, which is the park that Cowboy Coaster is located at, which made it super easy to get this very rare credit. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Snow King Mountain is a ski resort that also has attractions in the summer, as they have two gondolas, an alpine coaster, which is Cowboy Coaster, then they also have an alpine slide. And as for Cowboy Coaster, it is a fairly good alpine coaster, and it does deliver a solid ride, and if you go max speed, you can expect some fairly good laterals, and even a bit of weightlessness here and there. Now, here are some honorable mentions for other rare coasters I've experienced, starting with Sandblaster at the Daytona Beach Boardwalk. Now, this ride is rare just because it was literally opened, at least at the Daytona Beach Boardwalk, for literally 5 years, and it also had a tragic accident which a train derailed. And I don't remember when I rode it, or even if I rode it, to be completely honest with you, but I have been to the Daytona Beach Boardwalk, and I've seen it operational, and I've also seen it not operational, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I have ridden this. And also another rare coaster I've experienced is also located in Florida, up in Melbourne, Florida, near West Palm Beach, and that's this SBF spinning coaster, literally known as Family Coaster, at this park known as Andretti Thrill Park. Now, Andretti Thrill Park is just your standard FEC, and this is literally just your standard SBF spinning coaster with the standard oval layout, so really nothing special there. And those are the two other rare coasters that I have experienced.